civil employee, civil servant here.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
So city manager.
So
floor
you're
is
gonna go
yours.
ahead. Councilmember Ballard indicated she's still stuck in a meeting, I think.
Oh, okay, yeah, she's with
Okay.
Botanica, I believe.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I don't know if she'll make it today or not.
Very good. All right. Thank you, Vice Mayor. I've got, we have 3 proclamations, and then there are 3 speakers on the public agenda. On page 2, you have the unfinished council item, or unfinished business item related to the sale of tobacco products. We are bringing forth 2 recommendations. One regarding the sale of tobacco to minors by a clerk. What we're suggesting is that the first violation be with a formal written warning. And then second violation, the penalties would kick in as we had originally recommended. So that's, that would be the one way to address the issues that have been expressed on the fines for clerks for first offenses.
So may I ask a clarifying question?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. So the clerk would get a warning the first time, but would the actual license holder, the business establishment, get the fine?
Still be fined, yep.
That seems odd, that they wouldn't be the same, you know what I mean? Maybe it's just me.
That's consistent with the conversation that was had at the bench last Tuesday. I don't know that there was a discussion about concerns on the part of the owners. We're just bringing a solution based on what was discussed at the bench.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, if you want to modify that, that would, you know.
I'll marinate
Yep.
on that further.
Okay. The other item had to do with a recommendation from the American Heart Association to include mandatory inspection schedule, or a mandatory inspection schedule. We're recommending against that. That would be the only code provision regarding inspections where there was a mandated schedule. So at this point, I think for a lot of reasons, it doesn't make sense to put that burden on staff and not recognize that there can always be pressures on staff that where they could miss the deadline and they'd be in violation of the ordinance. So those are the 2 items that are addressed in the staff report. Page 3, number 1, this would approve the design concept for improvements to Commerce and St. Francis Streets south of Waterman. Only 15 years in the making. Number 2 is approving the contract for mandatory groundwater monitoring in Gilbert and Mosley area. Number 3 is accepting a petition to repave an alley between Main and Water Streets north of First Street. This would be funded totally through special assessments.
So it's already paved, it's just getting repaved?
That's correct.
And it's going through special assessment?
Yep. Number 4, this would be, we're asking you to approve contracts with 9 vendors to mow approximately 5,000 acres of parkland, rights-of-way, and other city-owned turf areas. The estimated cost for this work is $3.8 million. That's it on page 3. On page 4, you have a planning item. This is one where MAPC voted to approve and DAB voted to deny. On page 5, this is approval of a contract for specialized media buying, search engine optimization, and social media management services at the airport. That's all I have on page 5. On page 6, 4B would approve the design agreement for the expansion of the West Link branch library. Page 7, number 9, This is a slight change in the WIFIA resolution and ordinance that you just approved this week for the BNR project. The change is necessary because EPA has pushed back our closing date. So we need to reflect that in the documents. That's the only change. Yep, yep. Yeah, and actually we're asking for a little bit of wiggle room with the language just in case the date changes again. So, Vice Mayor, that's all I have.
All right, no director reports or anything today?
Is Marley on? Yes, Marley?
All right, Marley.
Good memory.
Can't hear you.
Still can't hear you.
I know a little bit of sign language if that has to happen here.
Hold on, Marley.
Try it now.
Can you try now, Marley?
All right, can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you now. That was on that was a problem on our side.
Is that better?
Yes. Yes, it was. Can you hear us?
All right. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Might speak up a little bit though.
Yes.
Okay, you can hear me now. All right, perfect. Couple of new bills I wanted to make you guys aware of. Senator Masterson did introduce a bill that came out in today's packet, Senate Bill 309, that will reimburse cities and counties for the reduction in the sales tax with the Senate's full repeal of sales tax on food. That bill is in Senate Ways and Means and no hearing has been set yet. There is a bill up for hearing next week that just came out to preempt local cities and counties from banning plastics. There's also a new bill up next week that will not allow cities and counties for banning the sale of any product that can be sold. So it's more of the consumer product provision, and they have split those two bills up. There's a hearing on Monday with the full repeal of the sales tax on food, including the local portion in the House Tax Committee. The city of Wichita is going to weigh in against that bill. Scrap Metal Renewal Act, House Bill 2326, is up for hearing next week, and WPD will weigh in favor of that. There is a medical marijuana hearing for 2 days next week. That's Senate Bill 125. There are several hearings on water issues. The full funding of the state water plan, as well as the GMD reporting, are up for hearing in the Senate Ag Committee next week. There was a child care hearing this week on the pretty major rewrite of child care legislation in the state. I think the hearing went well. I know that there are several senators working on some compromise legislation, and we do expect a bill to come out in the next few weeks on that. And then finally, there's an informational hearing in the Senate Tax Committee on a statewide uniform truth in tax notice. And with that, I am happy to answer any questions.
Marley, on the water issue, is there anything that we need to be aware of on that hearing that we need to possibly testify on? Or?
Now I cannot hear you.
We're checking to see.
Try it. Okay, there we go.
Okay. On the water hearing next week, is there anything that we need to be aware of that we're putting in on?
I've sent the information to Jim about this week's hearing, and when the House Bill 2302 was in the House, we did weigh in on and support the full funding of it. There may be some amendments upcoming on some of those bills that would be advantageous to Wichita. So I can definitely brief you more if you want to give me a call.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions for Marley? All right.
Thank you.
All right, any comments for the good of the group? All right, seeing none, I hope to see you guys out at the Delano St. Patrick's Day Parade tomorrow, and also the Wagon Masters have the first of, they hope, many events for St. Patrick's Day out at NAFCR Park. So it should be decent weather. Let's everybody get out and celebrate like we haven't since 2019, so.
Probably like it's 19.
Right. All right, we're done here. Thank you, guys.